Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today is day one of our time off because of Corona. So today I'm going to be teaching you a fun and easy breakfast meal that I enjoy because it only uses one pan or a skillet, I guess I should say. It uses a cast iron skillet. And you can add or subtract really whatever you want to this to make it more healthy, to make it taste better, to make it what you like. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a breakfast skillet. So here's what you're going to need. So you're going to need 1/4 cup of onion, half a bell pepper, 5 eggs scrambled. You could do them not scrambled if you want. They'll have the whole runny yolk fried egg kind of feel to them. You'll need 8 sausage links stripped of their casings. You need paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, 8 slices of bacon, and then cheddar cheese to taste.
Potatoes!
To prepare potatoes, first we're going to peel the potato, and you're also going to want to slice off any ugly spots that the potato has. Next, use a cheese grater to shred your potatoes. I use 2 large potatoes. After you've shredded your potatoes, you're going to want to rinse them. They have a lot of starch on them right now, and you're going to want to get most of that off. If you look in the strainer, you can see that there are a lot of bubbles in there. That's how you know that it still has starch. So you're going to want to keep rinsing it until most of those bubbles are completely gone. Once I'd rinsed most of the starch off of the potatoes, I moved them over into a towel. I held the top of it and I held the bottom and I started twisting. Potatoes have a lot of water naturally. They also take on a lot of water in the rinsing process. You want to get most of that out of there so that you can get a nice crispy potato. This takes some elbow grease, but it's a lot easier than trying to squeeze the water out by hand in the strainer. I had to ask Tommy for some help because he's definitely a lot stronger than I am and was able to get out the last remaining bits of water that were still in the potatoes. Here you can see that the potatoes are nice, dry, and fluffy. Once you've prepared your potatoes, you can start preparing your other ingredients. You're going to want to start by dicing a pepper. After you dice the pepper, you're going to dice an onion. You're going to chop off the ends, chop it in half, peel it, and then you'll dice it. Once you have finished dicing your potatoes, you're going to let the dog play on the counter, apparently. And then you're going to start with your sausages. So you have to strip the sausages of their casing, which basically just means that you're going to squeeze the meat out of the casing. I did this for 8 sausages. Once you've prepared those ingredients, you're going to crack your eggs into a bowl, scramble them up with some salt and pepper.
So everything that you're going to cook in the cast iron skillet. You're also going to want to, at this point, preheat the oven. We go for 375 and get that going while you start cooking your bacon. So I have this on, I guess that would be like a medium-low temperature. I have it on a 3. And I had to let it warm up a little bit because cast iron takes a little bit to heat up. And then you'll start putting in your bacon slices. Doesn't have to be perfect because they're gonna be crumbles in the end of this. And it does take a little bit of time. As I cook my bacon, I usually flip it frequently. You're gonna find that all of a sudden the bacon's gonna cook really, really fast. And you wanna make sure that you don't burn it, because nobody likes burnt bacon. Alright, we're gonna get those going. Don't poke at the bacon like I'm doing, because you'll probably burn yourself. Use tongs or a fork or something. So at this point it is hot.
Hey, do we have enough bacon?
I think so.
Got more.
Alright, so our bacon's good and crispy, so we're going to want to remove it onto a plate with a paper towel so that we can drain off all of that nice bubbly fat. That'll help the bacon get nice and crispy. You're going to notice that there's a lot of fat left in the pan. We aren't going to need all of that, so after I take these off and put them on the paper towel, I'm going to shut the heat off and I'm going to drain the pan of most of the fat. You're still going to want to leave some of it in there though, because it's going to add a lot of good salt and flavor. So while we have the sausage cooking, I'm just going to crumble up the bacon. All you have to do is take a knife to it and chop through it so that it crumbles into a bunch of little bacon bits. You can make them as big or as little as you want to. You could crumble them by hand if you want. All up to you. Just get them in some yummy little bits. So keeping it on the same heat, you're gonna put in your stripped sausage links in there and you're gonna work on breaking them up. A lot of the times Tommy and I buy already crumbled and cooked sausage, but thanks to coronavirus, we couldn't get any. So we're gonna be making our own sausage bits for this. They'll be tastier, so it's worth it. But you do have a little bit of the bacon fat in there, and you'll also get some of the sausage fat in there. That's gonna make for some really awesome flavor. All right, so our breakfast sausage crumbles are looking all good. You can see how they've released a little fat as well. That's gonna be really good because our next step is adding our peppers and our onions to the pan. We know that we need fat for heat transfer, so in order for these to cook, we need some fat in the pan. We use peppers and onions. You could totally use any other vegetable that you want. Clearly, this isn't crazy healthy. If you really wanted to get healthy, you could use a lot less meat. You could use like a turkey sausage and turkey bacon because that will have less fat to it. You could add broccoli, you could add spinach, you can add whatever vegetables you want. You could substitute a whole egg for egg whites. There are a lot of different opportunities to make this healthier. If you guys think of any, you can send me a little message on Remind, or you could comment on the Google Classroom and tell me what your ideas are for how to make this healthier. But for now, we're just going to saute this until the peppers and the onions start to get soft. You'll know that they're getting soft when they start to get kind of translucent. And when they get there, we're gonna add in the potatoes. Come over here. You can see that our onions are going fairly translucent. You can see the pepper right through that onion. So they are translucent. Personally, I don't like the crunch of onions, so I probably let mine go a little more than what most people will. You have to keep in mind that once I add the potatoes, it's gonna have to keep cooking. So these onions are gonna be pretty mushy in there. But yeah, so I'm gonna add my potatoes. I think I'm gonna do it this way. You still have some fat in there, which is good. If you find that you don't have any more fat or oil left in the bottom, you should definitely add some. Potatoes are gonna absorb a lot of the fat. So You want to make sure that you either put butter or oil if your bacon and sausage fat is gone. This is pretty full. That's okay. We're going to wind up packing it down. It's also going to lose some more moisture as it cooks. I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm going to start kind of stirring this, tossing it around, making sure that all of the potato gets cooked. Alright, so the potatoes haven't been in there that long, but you can see that there's like no oil left in the pan, so I think I'm going to probably add like a tablespoon of butter. The potatoes are also sticking to the bottom a little bit, but you can just kind of scrape those off. That's okay. That's how you're going to get like crispy potato bits in there, which is always a good thing. Alright, so our potatoes are looking pretty cooked. While I was cooking that, I turned the temperature back down to a medium-low. The potatoes were sticking a lot. I didn't want them to burn down there. I've also added, I'd say, 2 tablespoons of butter into the pan to make sure that we didn't have dry potatoes, because no one likes dry potato. And now we're going to add some seasonings. So, onion powder, I'm going to add what I have left of this, which is basically nothing. If you have more, I'd recommend adding half a teaspoon to a whole teaspoon. Onion powder is always good. I'm gonna say we'll add half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Keep in mind your potatoes don't have any flavor to them, so this is your opportunity to add in as much as you can. Then I'm also going to add in some hot paprika because we like spicy. So, I don't know, I'll say I'll add like 1/4 of a teaspoon to 1/2 a teaspoon of paprika to that. And then you're also going to want to add salt and pepper to taste. Some people like really salty, some people don't. Just keep in mind that your bacon and your sausage already has a good amount of sodium in there, so you don't want to add too much. And so this is pepper that I'm adding. I'm going to stir this all in, keep it cooking. When I feel like the potatoes are just about cooked how I want them to, I'm going to pack this down, but we'll come back when I get to that point. Alright, so our potatoes are looking nice and cooked. I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to start packing this down. You almost want this to be like your pie crust. So pack it down as much as I can. Tommy was telling me not to touch the handle because it's going to be really hot. Keep in mind this whole entire pan is going to conduct heat. So we've learned about how fat and water is a conductor, but we all know that metal is a conductor, so it'll burn me if I touch it. Alright, so I've got that all packed down. So at this point, if you wanted like a fried egg kind of feel, you want the runny yolks, you would start cracking your eggs on here, probably about 5 eggs. But I don't like runny yolks. Unfortunately, Tommy loves them, so he has to suffer with some scrambled eggs. So I have 5 eggs scrambled here with some salt and pepper that I'm just going to pour on in. Feel free to do more eggs than this if you like a lot of eggs. I'm kind of looking at this, wishing a little bit that I had done more than 5, but that's completely up to you. I'm going to wrap this up, and hang on, I'm gonna kind of swirl the egg around a little bit to get it in there, and then I'm gonna throw it in the oven. There we go. All right, so we're gonna close that up, turn the light on, and keep an eye on it. In about 5 minutes, I'd say, we're gonna take it back out and add some cheese. So we'll come back to you when we get there. So Tommy just found the grossest bug in the world, and he's gonna show it to you because it's disgusting.
I don't know how to get it in there. Can I zoom in?
You may not be able to see it.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys can probably see it. There you
It's
go.
huge. How big
Oh,
would
he's
you-
moving. Oh, he
No,
moved.
No, no.
Oh, now I gotta kill it.
No.
We gotta burn the house down. That's it. We're moving. We're moving. Ray Rigby, we're moving. Yeah.
Oh my god. That thing is like 80 zillion legs. All right, so our egg is mostly cooked. So we're gonna pull this out of the oven. And we're gonna add some cheese. Now we are definite cheese people. So yes, we have a massive bag of cheddar. Gotta get through our quarantine somehow. So I'm gonna take a nice big handful and sprinkle it all on the top. All right, now I'm gonna put this back into the oven until the cheese has melted. So our skillet's out of the oven, the cheese has melted, so now it is time to add our bacon. So we tried at first to bake it with the bacon on top, and we found that it burnt the bacon really easily. So now we add the bacon at the end, distribute it as evenly as possible because nobody wants a piece without bacon. That ain't gonna be good. So that's it. That is our breakfast skillet. Now Tommy and I are going to serve ourselves a little slice of it. You cut it like a pizza. We're going to have it with some cracked wheat bread that is whole wheat bread so that we can get some grain in our breakfast. We're also going to have it with some grapes so that we can get some fruit in our breakfast. If anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. And let me know what your favorite breakfast is. What do you guys like to make at home? Give me some ideas on how to make this healthier. Let's keep the conversation going while we're out on our Coronication.